Green flag racing resumed on lap 176 as Ricky Rudd continued to hold the lead. Alan Kulwicki passed Rusty Wallace on the inside groove of lap 214, moving into second place, followed by Terry Labonte taking third. A flat tire sent Wallace to the pits for an unscheduled stop, dropping him out of the lead. And as we return to the race on lap 234, Ricky Rudd is leading the field with Kulwicki in second and Labonte in third.
Rudd has led the majority of laps here this afternoon and looked very strong all race long in that Quaker State Buick.
Okay, here he comes. He's coming down pit road this time, which should be his last pit stop of the afternoon. And Larry McReynolds and the crew ready for him. And they want to make this a quick one. Jerry Punch is there.
Well, Ricky Rudd had radioed to the crew exactly what you said, fellas. He said, let's stay out a couple more laps. Maybe we'll get a yellow flag. We can keep some of these guys a lap down, but it didn't happen. So they are now in some 75 laps from the conclusion of the Checker 500. 2 right side tires, 2 complete cans of fuel, 13.610 seconds, and they were quick. They said they would be, and they were.
That is a very good pit stop, and that should give him enough fuel to go the rest of the way. Dale Earnhardt had just made a pit stop as well, which should be his last pit stop. Earnhardt, of course, running a lap down as a result of a spin earlier in the race.
So with Rudd relinquishing the lead now, it goes to the number 7 car driven by Alan Kulwicki. And look who's right behind him. That's Rusty Wallace, who is again a lap down at this point because of his early pit stop.
But he has newer tires than does Alan Kulwicki in car number 7, so he'd like to move in front of him in case a caution should come out. Of course, Kulwicki will have a pit stop coming up before too long. But Rusty Wallace driving his heart out once again as they go around the Piedmont Airlines car of Sterling Marlin, car number 44. That car is still kicking up a little bit in the turns, moving high, which allows Kulwicki and now the car number 27 of Rusty Wallace to move by, and Bill Elliott is coming into the pits. And we understand that Alan Kulwicki will be coming in about 4 laps.
There is Bill Elliott, who has stopped the Coors Motorcraft Ford in his stall, and the Elliott crew going to work on it. Jerry Punch can explain what's going on.
Well, Ernie and Dad Elliott and the rest of the Motorcraft Coors Melling crew here changed right side tires. 13.7 seconds. I tell you, these guys are doing an excellent job in the pits. Elliott down and away.
Moving out on the acceleration lane and rejoining the racetrack out in corner number 2, the number 8 car driven by Bobby Hillin Jr. is also in for a pit stop, and Hillin is running in the top 10. As a matter of fact, he's in the top 5, relinquishing that 5th position when he came in for what should be his final pit stop of the day.
And he, like everyone else, is taking on right side tires. Those are the ones that give up first because they get most of the strain when they go into the turn. Good pit stop for him. Benny Parsons was just in. We saw Sterling Marlin coming into the pits. Kyle Petty is in as well. So everybody making these last pit stops as we see Bobby Hillin go back out of the racetrack. He'll enter the racetrack coming on turn 2.
And the number 7 crew, the Kulwicki crew, begins to ready itself for a possible stop by the leader of the race in a few more laps. Remember, Allen is off sequence with everybody else because of an unscheduled stop very early in the race, but the Xerox team is looking for him within the next few laps. There he is on the racetrack, leading the Checker 500, Alan Kulwicki.
Well, Kulwicki had a bad qualifying lap on Friday, the first day of qualifying here, but came back and was the fastest second round on the second day of qualifying. And here, is he coming into the pits?
No,
well, no, not this time, staying out. They told him to pit, we understand, but he stayed out there.
There's the battered car of Rick Wilson, the number 4 machine. That was one of those involved in this massive 6-car accident at the end of the straightaway that caused a yellow flag of about 15 laps. Nobody injured in that crash, but it certainly was a very scary looking accident. We had some fire and some very badly damaged race cars as a result of it. Kulwicki still stays out there on the track and does not come in for a stop.
Well, I think his crew is expecting him in. Now, whether they have radio communication, I don't know. Or Alan says, well, let me run here as long as I can. Of course, sometimes it doesn't pay to run too long and run out of gas because there's a lot of things can happen if you run out of gas. You can burn a piston. You can have to coast back into the pits and have trouble getting it fired. Just a lot of different things that can go wrong. But Alan apparently feeling pretty comfortable with it. He stays out there one more time.
No banking on the turns here, so you can't really use the banking to get to coast back into the pit area. So Kulwicki is staying out there and stretching it just as far as he possibly can. And we understand, however, he should be coming in this lap. We'll wait and see. He's in the dog leg now, setting the car into turn number 3. He'll be getting on the brakes right here if he is coming in, diving to the inside, and nope, he's fooled us again. There's Jeff Bodine, who has come in, and Bodine, one of those also running in the top 5, comes in for what should be his final pit stop of the afternoon.
And Davey Allison is in the pits a little farther up pit road for what should be his last pit stop. He's getting right side tires as well. As Bodine goes out, Jimmy Means goes out after making the pit stop in the Eureka vacuum cleaner car.
A little bit of body damage there on the left rear of the number 5 Levi Garrett Chevrolet. Kulwicki he just is not really paying attention to the crew if they are indeed calling him in, but I would imagine that Allen is pretty much calling the shots here.
Well, he owns his own car and certainly is in position to call the shots. And when Rusty Wallace came up on him there a little bit ago, Bob, it looked like Rusty might get back in the lead lap, but Allen was able to pull away from him, and so he hasn't been threatened with that here recently. So he figures, well, heck, I'm running some pretty good lap times, so I don't just stay out here and run for a little while. But yeah, he's staying out. I thought he was coming in that time. He dipped down to the inside of the racetrack, but still staying out there, circling around.
And completes lap number 248 for Allen. It's a 312 lap race. You can see the shadows now over the first and second turns as the sun begins to lower itself in the western sky. So while we wait for the Allen Kulwicki pit stop, which apparently is not going to come in the next couple of laps, we'll take another break and be right back at the Checker 500. While we were away, Allen Kulwicki did finally make his pit stop. It was a routine one, but it did give up the lead to Ricky Rudd in car number 26. Also,
actually, Bobby, it gave up the lead to Terry Labonte, car number 11, but he only ran a couple of laps, and then he came in for his pit stop, so that does put Ricky Rudd back in the lead.
And second now in the serial scoring is Phil Parsons. Third is Allen Kulwicki. Fourth is Terry Labonte. Fifth is Rusty Wallace. In sixth is Bill Elliott. Seventh is Bobby Hillin Jr. And in eighth position is Harry Gant. So we're set up now for the end of the race, as everybody should have enough fuel to go the distance. These cars are here for the very first time. After a few laps, we asked Rudd, does this track remind you of any other that you have ever run on?
Well, I'm trying to think. You know, turns 1 and 2 compare maybe a little bit to say Pocono. Turns 3 and 4 to me compare more to turn 9 at Riverside more than any track that we run. So it's the corners are so much different than anything we run on a typical standard oval track that it's altogether different driving style it takes to get around here. More like you would use for getting around a road course.
So Rudd compares it with several tracks and even compares it to a road course. And certainly he is a fan of road courses because his only win in the 1988 season has come on the road course at Watkins Glen. Now the second place car driven by Phil Parsons has not made his final pit stop. So he will undoubtedly drop out of that second position when he does come in.
Allen Kulwicki went 98 miles before he came in the pits. As we look at Phil Parsons passing the 19 car of Chad Little, Parsons in car number 55, and Terry Labonte went 100 miles on a tank of fuel. That was a little more than most of them expected to get on this racetrack. Now on the higher bank tracks where they turn the track in about 25 seconds, then they can get sometimes 100 miles on a tank of fuel. Here's Darrell Waltrip in for what should be his final pit stop, and he's gotten some good gas mileage too. He's perhaps went over 100 miles.
High Chevrolet driven by Darrell Waltrip. And you can see that they're putting some tape at the top of the windshield there on the driver's side, and that's simply because they're staring right into that sun as they come down the straightaway.
Yeah, it gets blinding when you go into turn 1 here late in the evening, and NASCAR competition director Dick Beatty told them in the drivers meeting this morning that they would be permitted late in the race to put it on the outside of the windshield. Normally they have to put it on the inside, but they told them here today you will be able to put it on the outside. They just did on Darrell Waltrip's car.
They certainly need it because the sun is lowering in the western sky, and they're looking right into it as they go down the straightaway, just as they do at Rockingham. The lead held by Ricky Rudd. There is the top 5 with 255 laps completed.